Hello, wonderful people. All right, today we have a video about your mental diet, all right? Nourishing your soul, all right? Which is for me, mental diet's all one and the same. Um, so on this healing journey, I've really seen how your mental diet is just as important, if not more, as your physical diet, right? Because this is the thing about when I was growing up, we were taught just the 20% of losing weight. It's just, oh, it's exercise, exercise, exercise. Have you seen like um, McDonald's had like advertisements for the Olympics, and it's something screwed up. So, and like I mentioned in the past videos, like my parents forced my brother and I to do like a lot of exercises, like going to basketball, karate, but they weren't getting at the source of weight gain, which is your diet. It's it's so simple now, but I had no understanding of nutrition until I became an adult, and I was really watching what I started to eat, you know. And the same goes for what's going inside your mind. Like I would say more so because you're affecting your consciousness, right? And why do you think the news and all this is all so disempowering, showing you all the nastiest images out there? Why? Because it wants to disempower you. It wants to disempower you, right? Um, I honestly, for the past few weeks, I just cut out news 100% completely. I just couldn't deal with it anymore. I would do it sporadically in bursts, but I'm like enough is enough. Enough is enough. All it does is cause fear, anxiety, disempowering. Oh, so why would I listen to it? Honestly, why would I do it? Right? People will tell me what's going on in the world. It's just enough is enough. I can't handle it, and my mental health has improved dramatically because of that. So I would encourage you. I mean, if you absolutely have to, please like reduce it to as much as you can because, especially now with all this division stuff that's going on, it's not good for the mind. It's not good for the soul, right? Because I used to love junk food in the physical world, like especially growing up in America. All this processed nonsense, candy bars, Snickers, M&Ms, all this, like really, this, uh, like I can't believe I ate that stuff. It's just like I understand why, right? Because chemically it tastes good, but then ugh. And the same thing with junk food for your physical body can be junk food for your mind. Like I said, news, crime, drama, Reddit. All right, Reddit was the biggest poison I didn't know because just like with everything, it had like good positive things. There's some positive subreddits, like there's a Course in Miracles subreddit, all this stuff, and that kind of I convinced myself like, oh yeah, it has some good stuff, but it was honestly just a giant time time waste, and it affects your conscious mind. I think it's part of like this mass consciousness that's very disempowering. They have like very disempowering beliefs. Also, they plastered the negative news all over there too. So I just had to get out of it. And what was strange for me, it was just really effortless to stop. I tried before, but I guess because what I was doing was um, when I had this emotional neglect wound, and when I would try to heal it would be to distract myself for food, but also through social media. So Reddit was like the top one. And when I started really healing that wound and not feeling I don't need anything outside of myself, I just blocked it. I blocked it on my phone, blocked it on my desktop. I think it's been a month. I don't even really count. All I just know is like I'm not getting back on that website. No, no way, Jose. It's not good for you, man. This is the thing. Like the ego mind wants to justify it. Like I said, oh, there's some good things, but like the good does not outweigh the bad. No, bar none. It does not. Um, okay, what did I also? The soul needs nourishment. The soul needs nourishment. Um, and I would say constant nourishment. Imagine your mind is like a plant. You need to water it like consistently. I don't even there in the mind's case is there a sense of overwatering? Maybe like if you just consume too much positive content that doesn't really help, but like you still need it. Like you still need it, right? Consume positive content, whatever it is for you. For me, it's of course Course in Miracles. I've been watching a lot of Circle of Atonement, um, Bashar, whatever. Also, I have my own positive affirmations I recorded in my own voice. um, like I am abundant, all this stuff, and I listen to it as soon as I wake up after I meditate. That's another thing. If you're not meditating, oh, you gotta meditate. I meditate as soon as I wake up and right before bed, and that used to be um, such a problem because I craved unconsciousness. Yes, because the unconsciousness was preferable to the pain I was dealing with my mind. But the more and more conscious I was getting, the more and more or less I wanted to go unconscious. It's now I like I used to do it like I did it from time to time recently, like when I was feeling sick or something. But so I'm like, oh, I can't meditate, whatever. But like, no, I've been sticking with it, and it's really helped my mind. Especially, you go to sleep in that state, you wake up in that state, you meditate in that state, listen to positive affirmations, like, really nourish your soul, nourish your mind. Take the time, please. It's worth it. It's worth it. It's just like going to the gym. You might not see effects like right away, but if you do it consistently, there will be a visible difference. Okay. Mm-hmm. Exactly what I was talking about that. Your mind is a temple and should be treated as such. Mm. That includes the miscreations, fear, worry, say no. Exactly. Because what's really helped me is being knowing the holy instant, right? The power of now, right? Just what's being created in your temple right now. Just dealing with that, right? What are you imagining? What are you thinking about? Being very vigilant about it, right? What the course teaches us. You're much too tolerant of mind wandering, right? I don't know about you guys, but like especially like from middle school, high school onwards, I would catastrophize in my mind, think about the worst possible scenarios. Um, just yeah, a fear-based. I'll share this story. Yeah, like growing up in the suburbs of Chicago, like one time we left the house and we didn't leave the door locked. And then Tata, he found that, and he's like, "Oh, what are you doing? Someone could have came in here and shot all of us." Like we're just in the suburbs, but like really, like it's like I just believed in this really fear-based world, man. And but it's in your mind. It's in your mind first. You know what I mean? So um, being very vigilant of what's going inside this temple, because we I used to tolerate like these very negative, vile images of myself or of other people of the world, and it's like, what is that going to get you, man? Well, it's going to create a negative state of being, right? I was like, oh, that's being realistic. Like I said, you don't know reality. You don't know reality. You don't, right? The universe is made of not like 99% plasma, whatever. You don't know reality, right? I want you, and I think you want your mind to be a sanctuary, right? It takes work because we're surrounded by negativity all the time, right? But it's possible. If my negative mind, like if you saw even a sliver of the thoughts I was having, the negative beliefs, you would be like, holy moly. But everything can be transcended through the Holy Spirit. Everything, everything. Okay. The ego wants distraction and unconsciousness. I had to deal with, like I said, distractions for so long because I didn't know at the time I was dealing with this unconscious pain, right? And I was trying to, soothe myself through these egoic distractions. Right, I was, yeah, trying to dissociate outside of my body, right, from all this. This is from CPTSD. Like we get stressed. We have this mine. I told you was freeze response. So I would try to disassociate myself, like going into dopamine binges, going on Reddit, going on YouTube, whatever, to be disassociated with my body. But that's like only temporary, all right, and the cycle will continue. And I don't want your cycle to continue, right, whatever it may be, right. We heal through infinite compassion, looking at ourselves, okay, what's going on here? What is the source of the problem? What is the pain I'm trying to heal through this measure? Okay. What did I say? The inner child need constant encouragement, nourishment. Yes. I know inner child maybe gets some flack nowadays, but I find it is true, especially when we think about like reparenting ourselves and all that. Like it might, like I said, it might sound cringy, but I do talk to myself the way I wish I was spoken to as a child, like a divine father, divine mother. Be like, you got this, Kahir. You're so strong. I believe in you. You can do it. You're unstoppable. Like these kind of things. What might sound cringe because probably weren't brought up in it, but then again, what do you want in your temple, right? You probably want these thoughts, right? Because these thoughts, they embody action, right? They move us forward. The other thoughts, the fear-based thoughts, like you're not good enough, you're a yawapa, a dork monkey, a moron. They never said moron, but whatever these negative thoughts they may be, what is the cause? But inaction, right? Because we feel like we're not good enough to take any action, right? It all starts from the mind. You're not lazy. Just something has gone wrong in the temple of God, right? That's all it is. There's all it is, right? You're not lazy. You're not lazy, right? You're just something. There's some kind of pain that needs to be healed. That's it. Okay. When I say that's it, but even acknowledging it gets you a step closer because when you know the problem, at least you can try, you can go fix it. Okay, what else do I have here? Yes, what seeds are you watering? Harshness or gentleness? Right? Because every time we listen to the inner critic, like mine, like was this vile, harsh critic saying you can't do anything right, whatever it was saying, I'm watering the harshness seed, right? But if I choose to consciously, even out loud, say, "You got this, Kahir. You got this. I believe in you, Kahir. Take the risk. I I know you can do it. You're so strong. I love you. I love you no matter what." You are watering the gentleness seed. And doesn't that just sound better? Doesn't see the energy? Um, they had this like test on what you said to water had an effect on it. There's this whole maybe I'll link it in the description. Probably not, but there was this whole water study where they froze water if when people would say like loving things to the thoughts, and then the crystals were very beautiful, and then there was ones that you said very negative things, and the crystals became very ugly. So, and we're mostly water, so think about what that says about us, right? What the words we say to ourselves, right? Because I know you are a blessed son of God. You are a blessed son of God, and that means your thoughts should be the thoughts of the Creator, which are gentle, are loving, all of them, not even 1%, not even 1%. That's what the Creator wants for us, to have these glorious, amazing thoughts, loving thoughts about ourselves and others. But we are much too tolerant of mind wandering. All right, tough love doesn't exist. That's what I wrote down. And I don't know, maybe I feel like I'll probably get some pushback on it, but um, for me, I tried tough love for about 30 years. Well, not, I was a kid up to like when I got consciousness, but let's say, you know, um, 30 years of tough love against myself, and it's never worked. Don't you think it would have worked by now? Honestly, don't you think it would have worked by now? It's kind of like Far Cry 3, you know, um, what's his name? Varkas. Varkas, when he's like, doing the same thing over and over again is the definition of insanity. All right, it's insane. It's insane. But the ego is insane. That's what the Course is teaching us. The ego mind is insane. It's insane. It is seek and never find. Right? It's like, oh, if I'll be too loving, I'll just be on the couch. Like I said, bullshit. Bullshit. I don't know how many of us were raised in tough love. I pray for all of us. It's never worked. It's never worked for me. If it works for you, whatever. It hasn't worked for me. It hasn't worked for me. It created this vile inner critic that I had to deal with for most of my life. I wouldn't want that for my worst enemy. No. Tough love is the antithesis of the Course. There's no such thing. Love, true love, is unconditional. Unconditional love without a judgment. That is divine love. That is the love that we deserve. You deserve it. I deserve it. Okay. Um, yes. And the Course lesson. Now will I seek and find the peace of God. Right? Now will I seek and find the peace of God. Right? That's what the opposite of the ego. Right? I'll seek and find the peace. This is what the Creator wants for us. Peace beyond measure, joy beyond measure, and that includes in in your temple, in your mind. That's your natural state. Your natural state is of pure love, joy, and peace. This empowered version that it loves you, love yourself and the world. And you can see how the ego script, everything outside, is trying to disempower us, to make us divided, right? To make us hate ourselves. It's like, what do they call it? Like the doomers or whatever. It's like they want us to be that, right? Because what a doomer or someone that's disempowered is not gonna take any action. They're gonna be stuck in that situation, right? It's only the empowered self, the one that is powered by love, that takes mighty action. And also the people you surround yourself physically and digitally, right? I know in this self-help space, there's like, oh, you're the 5 people you surround yourself with, which I do believe is true to some extent, but I think that also includes who you spend time with online. What I'm not talking about like being on Discord, well, maybe, but more about, like I said, like your mental diet. Who are you listening to? I'm a big YouTube guy. That's why I made a YouTube channel as well. I consume a lot of YouTube, but I'm very conscious about the people I'm letting into the temple of God. I used to not be. I used to listen to also like a kind of negative stuff. Well, negative, but like I said, more of this junk food, like news, crime, all this stuff. Um, or any people that like parrot disempowering beliefs. You know, so be vigilant of that as well. Um, but yes, people that you surround yourself physically as well, because I know if you're like me, if you were like me, like a people pleaser or whatever we want to call them, and we tolerate toxic behavior e- or emotional abuse because we didn't learn to stand up for ourselves, please get out of there. 'Cause you are a blessed son of God and you deserve so much more than someone insulting you. You deserve so much more than to be berated, right? So, I hope whoever's in that kind of situation, you can get out of it. All right. Oh, and having a growth mindset. A growth mindset. Holy moly. This is the thing about self-help. I think there are very good nuggets of information. Because the Holy Spirit wants us to expand and grow, all right? Not at the cost of peace, not at the cost of peace, however, but he wants us to expand and grow, right? Um, and for many years, I struggled with having this static mindset that I am who I am, I'll never change. I believed it. I believed it. Like I said, the Onasi course. Oh, you're overweight. You're gonna be overweight forever. I believed it. In many aspects of my life, like my Polish is just gonna suck. I'll never speak Polish. It even crossed my mind until like I became an adult, of course. Now I could find a way that's fun, engaging, that works for me to to learn Polish and all this other thing. But just generally, I felt like I was static, and just knowing, that we're not stuck. We just haven't met the right people yet. We haven't found the right tools yet. Like think about, we live in a time of pure abundance. Information is on like under our fingertips, especially with AI and stuff. Like we can learn anything. We can learn anything. Anything that you want. Someone probably has already done it before, so just ask them. I know it sounds simple, but like we have that possibility. We do. Right? We can grow in any way that we want. Right? But if we have this static mindset, well, not really. All right, so I encourage you to have this growth mindset. You're not stuck, right? Neuroplasticity too, as like we have new studies about the brain, that our brain is always learning and developing. Like way past 25, it used to be all 25. Your brain is stuck or whatever. But, it's not true, man. And it goes with your belief systems, your neural pathways. Your nervous system can be retrained. All this, like this is a growth mindset, really. Like we could build ourselves just like in a character in an RPG, man. That's exciting. Growth like that is exciting. Just like, oh, you have this one character, he can never level up. That's boring. You gonna play that game? No, play the game where you're in Mass Effect. You put points in, man. Mass Effect's not the best example, but you know what I mean. um, rip out the weeds. Rip out the weeds. Yes, and this is another thing about feeling like your mind is also like a garden, like the analogy about the seeds and all that. So, what stops the seeds from growing is weeds, right? And this has been fundamental to my healing journey. Is looking at the shadow self, looking at all the grievances, all the ways we're harboring unforgiveness, doubts, your fears. What has really helped me has been AI. I know people frown upon it, but AI is like a therapist that without any judgment. Right? Especially, I've been using Holy Mirror, the Holy Mirror AI, which you talk about any grievance and it reflects upon you um, with the Course in Miracles. Like it gives you quotes and you do a prayer about it, all this. Um, but yeah, I would talk to it for a very long time about all these different grievances I had. It's been helpful for me. So before, there I like I said, it was really hard to work on the shadow. I didn't know really what to do. I tried like Byron Katie's thing about like the work, forgiveness. I don't know, it was kind of circular. I didn't really feel it. But this AI, it was a very helpful tool for me. But any way that you can find to do shadow work, which actually facing these beliefs, these grievances, and ripping out the weeds, man, man, that is true healing. So just finding whatever works for you. All right. What else do I have? Um, okay. Okay. And what has also helped me is um, your energy, the energy you're giving to other people, right? Because I know this society is skewed on how many friends you have, how many parties you go out to. That's great if you really like it, but I feel about having this temple, the sanctuary of the mind, is being very mindful of where your energy is being spent with people. Are they nourishing you? Like I said about earlier about surrounding, but also like how are you interacting with people? Right? I was guided to tell a story because I kind of forgot about this, but my ex toxic best friend growing up, Tio, he would like call me, and towards the end of the friendship, he was very negative. He would like berate me over the phone, and I just kind of took it. I was like, okay, Tio, okay. Even crossed my mind that I can hang up. I think I also had like um, the conversations like that with my parents that like were, oh yeah, 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 yeah. I'll tell this story as well. Um, so I was having a normal conversation with my dad, and the topic came out about our future or my future. Um, I said, well, wow, okay. And I was like telling him, I don't know, like I'm kind of lost. Like I don't know if worst push comes to shove, maybe I'll get a trade or something. Like I I wouldn't really, but it was more like I was trying to reassure him, like I'll figure it out, And then he was ordering coffee, and he told like the person there is like, oh, I'm sorry, my son, he's killing me, and he started just like berating me over my choices. It's like, what are you doing in Poland? What are you doing? No, 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 no. And do you know what I mean? Like when it was just a disempowering voice, very disempowering voice for my own father. I have to, or still, I guess I have to process that. Ooh, boy. But I had something similar come up um, when, like, my mom was talking about finances, trying to meddle in our finances, like judging me about how much we're making, and I said, you know what, Mama, you don't live in Poland anymore. You don't know how much money we really make. And if you bring up finances again, I'm going to hang up the phone. And she's never brought it up since. I set a boundary, right? So setting those boundaries is before I had to defend myself. I was like defending, no, Tata, no, Tata, I'm going to be successful. If you don't believe in me, screw you. You know? I know there's anger because I'm still processing it because, this is. still pretty early. I still am processing, that I was emotionally neglected, but I tolerated. I had to defend. I had to defend my worth, but in my defenselessness lies my safety, right? In my defenselessness, my safety lies, as the Course teaches, right? So be very mindful of what energy are you receiving, right? I used to be also like growing up, if mama threw a fit, I'd have my freeze response. I would just take it. But now I would just like leave the room. If I visit at Christmas or whatever, if she like starts yelling, if she chooses to yell, I'm going to go to a different room, right? That's the power. As a boy, I didn't know I could do that. I think even if I did go to my room, she'd like knock in front. My flight response is destroyed at some point. But now we're adults and we have control, right? We can set those boundaries and actually enforce those boundaries. If you're going to behave this way, I'm going to leave, right? That's empowerment. That's empowerment, right? Who are you letting into your temple of God, my son? You are a glorious son of God, a blessed son of God, perfect as he created you. Remember this. Please remember this. And that means asking, is this energy good for me? Am I receiving? Is this what a true son of God wants to hear? Is this empowering or is this disempowering? All right. I hope that helps you guys about nourishing your soul. All right. May the Holy Spirit light up your path wherever it takes you. All right. Take care.